Arnold Allen is the next big thing at featherweight. If you don't get that opinion after watching him compete against Gilbert Melendez on the prelims of UFC 239, then I don't know where the fuck you are, because your opinion doesn't matter. He's the next big thing at featherweight, in my opinion. And the UK, I'm telling you guys, we got a wave of guys coming through. For a while, the UK scene was dead. Okay, the UK scene was dead. But now we've got a list of guys coming through. We got, especially the lower weight classes. Nathaniel Wood comes to mind, 3-0 at bantamweight. Arnold Allen, 6-0 in the UFC at featherweight. Like, that's unheard of. It's the second longest win streak in the UFC featherweight division, behind only Max Holloway, who technically isn't on a win streak, but in that division, he is still on a 12 win streak, which is still crazy to think about. But Arnold Allen's on a 6 win streak. He isn't even ranked, and he's got the highest win streak in that, the second highest win streak in that division, other than the champion, the best featherweight, arguably, of all time, which I don't agree with, because Aldo defended it 10 times. Either way, okay? Either way, Arnold Allen's a beast, okay? And you saw that in the Gilbert Melendez fight. I love how the opinions change. Gilbert Melendez is going to beat this young kid. You're sleeping on Melendez. He's a savage. I said he's lost to he's 1-6 in the UFC. He's lost to everyone other than Diego Sanchez. Okay? I said that. And people were like, you don't know, man. Look at the people he's lost to, though. All of a sudden, after the first round of the fight, man, Gilbert looks old, right? No one gives the credit. Gilbert Melendez is a savage. Okay? And Arnold Allen handled him with fucking ease. With ease, Arnold Allen handled him. Okay? And it was a passing of the torch moment. He's 6-0 in the UFC. And before you say he beat tin cans, he hasn't just beat tin cans. He's beat some tin cans, I'll be honest with you. He's beat some tin cans. On his list of names now is Gilbert Melendez, Marwan Amirkhani, who was on a, 3 fight win streak in the UFC before he came up against Arnold Allen. Okay? He's beaten legit guys. Fucking Mads Burnell. Okay, he was 1-1 in, never mind. Fuck Mads Burnell, he's 1-1 in the UFC before Arnold Allen beat him. Still a decent fighter, okay? Good wrestler from Europe. Jordan Ronaldo, who just came off a win over Jason Knight, who's a legit threat in the UFC division. Okay, these are guys that aren't just tin cans making their debuts. They're guys who have wins in the UFC, have showed that they have what it takes to compete in the UFC, and Arnold Allen is shutting them down. And Marwan Amirkhani is the main one that sticks out to me. Even though it was a close fight, rightfully the decision went to Arnold Allen. And Marwan Amirkhani is a guy I'm looking at right now to maybe challenge some of the top 10 guys. Arnold Allen, what's next for him? I know what's next for him. It's Ricardo Lamas. That's a perfect matchup. Again, a passing of the torch. Ricardo Lamas, been in his fights, had his fair share of wars. You know what I'm saying? He's had his fucking knocks. He's been knocked out a couple times. He's just come off a knockout loss against Calvin Kattar. It's time to start flushing this old talent out of there and bringing up these new up-and-comers that are exciting to watch, that are youthful, that have no miles in the tank. You know what I'm saying? Arnold Allen, he's putting his graft. 6-0. I don't know, like, there's guys that, like, Israel Adesanya beat 2 guys. Let's see the difference here. Because Israel Adesanya talks a bit of shit, okay, and says all the cliche stuff. He beats, don't know his name, beats him in his UFC debut in Australia. Then goes on a split decision against Marvin Vettori. He's ready for the rankings. It shows you how much more in-depth and packed these lighter divisions are with talent in the UFC. That Arnold Allen has to go on a 6-0 win streak before he's even considered to be given a ranked opponent. Okay, and I think Ricardo Lamas is going to be the guy at the end of the year in London, because there's going to be a UK card at the end of the year. It might be in Manchester. It might even be in Birmingham. I'm not sure where it's going to be. But there's a card in the UK at the end of the year. And I think if you put Arnold Allen on versus Ricardo Lamas on that card, that's a great fight. And I'd watch it all time. I'd watch that. I'd pay very good attention. And it should be on the main card. When a guy's 6-0 and shows the technique and finesse that Arnold Allen does, you have to put him on the main card. It's a showcase fight. This is the skill level of the UFC. You know, just because someone's a bit more popular, if they fight like shit, they shouldn't be on the main card. The main card should be the showcase of the event. You know what I'm saying? It should be like, these are the best guys. Arnold Allen is one of those best guys. He's going to be on the main card in the UK card for sure. I can't wait for his next performance. He's going to stay active as well, apparently. And he done one thing. First of all, about the rankings. I want him to fight Ricardo Lamas. If he doesn't fight Ricardo Lamas, I'd like to maybe see him take on the winner of Darren Elkins versus Ryan Hall. I think that would be a good fight. It'd be a dangerous fight. If it's Ryan Hall, I probably wouldn't suggest that fight because they're two up-and-comers and you don't want to cancel them out. But if it's Darren Elkins, I'm okay to see that fight. You know, an older guy versus a younger guy. I'm okay to see that. But also, there's one thing that you cannot do. And I said this at light heavyweight with the Walker-Rakic situation. There's one thing. If the UFC does this, they're fucking morons. If I see a fight with Calvin Kattar, Yair Rodriguez, Shane Burgos, and Arnold Allen, if any of them are matched up against each other, the UFC is the stupidest fucking organisation in the world. If they cancel out those up-and-comers, right now we're in the flushing situation of the UFC. I think if Holloway beats Edgar, which he probably will, Edgar will retire. Jose Aldo's probably going to get one of these young, hungry up-and-comers. Apparently it's Yair Rodriguez. We'll see. Apparently. Or it's Brian Ortega. We'll see. We'll see. All I know is, on the Mexico card, the rumours are, on the forums, that 4 guys are going to be on that card. Zabit Magomedsharipov, Jose Aldo, Yair Rodriguez, and Brian Ortega. I'll let you guys decide who you think are fighting who. That's the words I'm hearing. Okay? And I go deep. I go deep on my info. So we'll be seeing those guys on the card. And right now we're in the flushing stage of the division. You know, Jeremy Stevens is probably on his way out of his career. Match him up with one of these young, hungry up-and-comers. Ricardo Lamas. Get rid of him. I like Ricardo Lamas. He's had his time. You know, time for some new guys to shine. Get rid of him. You know, Renato Moicano. Rockhold of the featherweight division. Get rid of him. You know what I'm saying? Get rid of him. Josh Emmett. He's new to the division, but an old fucker, so get rid of him. You know what I'm saying? Just get these young, hungry up-and-comers up to the top of the rankings, including Arnold Allen. And I'll say this about Arnold Allen. I like the UK. I'm a very proud guy. Okay? And I'd love to sit here and say that the UK MMA scene is amazing and we have the best gyms. But I have to be honest with myself. The UK MMA scene is so early on. It's complete trash. We don't have a single super gym. All of our MMA gyms are gyms where they specialise in something and then they just bring in other guys. Like Darren Till's gym is probably one of the most popular gyms other than Brad Pickett's gym in the UK. Okay, and all it is a Muay Thai gym, but they bring in a Jiu-Jitsu coach now and again and a wrestling coach. That's it. You know? And I like the fact that Arnold Allen is training at TriStar in Canada because that makes the most sense to me, if I'm honest with you. I like that. Arnold Allen doing the right thing. That I'd love to be a proud Englishman and say, no, the best training's in the UK. It's not. I know it's not. And if you want to be good in the UFC, you're going to need to go to some of these super gyms that are going to take you and mould you into the best fighter. And I think that that's why Firas Zahabi is such a good coach to Arnold Allen. Okay? Because I was thinking about this after the fight. Gilbert Melendez could never go to TriStar now. You know? I think TriStar and Firas Zahabi specialises in moulding his own fighter and giving him every technique that he needs. Okay? And to do that, you need to be young. And you can't be stuck in your ways. Because it's so impossible to teach an old dog new tricks. You know, it's a saying, it works in fighting as well. If a guy has been fighting a certain style for 10 years, you can teach him all you want in the practice room. When it's time to get into the cage, he's going to resort straight back to that style. And Arnold Allen is a guy who's young. He's not stuck in his ways. And he's taking in information from arguably one of the top 5 coaches in MMA right now, in Firas Zahabi. He's got a fucking crew of elites around him. And I think that's the perfect gym for him. I think he's got the perfect fucking formula for success. He doesn't get hit hard. And if he does, he takes it well. He's in and out. He's got fucking slick boxing. I want to see him versus Ricardo Lamas. I think he'd win by knockout. Even though he seems to be going to decisions a lot. Like, he's got power. Just the guys that he's fighting. A lot of times. And also, it's featherweight. A lot of people are like, he's going to decisions. He's not exciting. It's featherweight. There's not a lot of knockouts. When you really think about things, you know, there's not a lot of knockouts in featherweight. Like, there are some, and those ones stick out in our minds. And they're crazy. Obviously, there are some, but like it's still featherweight. You know, there's not going to be everyone getting knockouts left and right. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be some decisions. And also, when you're facing these young up-and-comers, they've got fresh chins. You know? They haven't taken the mileage that these other guys have. You saw it with Calvin Kattar. You know, he was going to decisions against these guys that were unranked. You give him a shot against Ricardo Lamas, who's ranked, he knocks him out. You know, these young and hungry up-and-comers that are unranked, although they aren't maybe proven skill-wise, they're fresh and they can take a fucking shot. They can take the damage because they haven't taken any in their entire career yet. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Arnold Allen's the next big thing. Phenomenal performance against Gilbert Melendez. Gets the job done. Click that. Goodbye.